Trump to represent our great country is a sin.
Hillary gets in, there could very well be a civil war.
How did it get to the point where when you disagree with somebody, you have to be their enemy?
Yesterday evening, Sarah was trying to play Frankenstein and try to make the perfect candidate. And she's like, here, if we take half of him and half of her and put them together.
So I only watched like...
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Van.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Good to see you.
Hi, I'm April.
Oh, you're
to
April.
meet
Hi, I'm
you.
Van. Hi, good.
Hi, I'm Rhonda.
Hey, I'm
Nice to
Van.
meet you.
Good to see you. Hey.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sally.
I was stunned that we had this idea, let's go to Gettysburg, and it turned out Donald Trump had the same idea. Did you guys go to the speech at all? Do you know anybody that went?
So it was hard to listen to. Just to listen to all the bashing that he does before he can get to his
Well, he
points.
has to
But his
work up
points
his
are not
crowd.
bad points.
I don't think the way he talks about those issues is in a positive way, though. I think he's inciting division in this country.
I think he is expressing what a lot of Americans think and say personally in their own homes.
What is it like being a parent, having a strong opinion, but at the same time looking at an election like this? How are you dealing with it as a mom, as a Republican mom?
My daughter knows that I do not like either candidate, but she also knows that when it comes down to it, I'm going to vote for the one who's going to do the least damage.
Mm-hmm. And in your mind, that's probably Donald Trump at this point.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I'm still wavering between Johnson and Trump, but never Hillary.
Why never Hillary?
I was in the military for 8 years, served under Clinton. I will never vote for a Clinton. He cut our military, ended dental care in the military, outsourced it, lost my job.
I get the impression that you two in particular have pretty high standards, and yet those values that are so important to you. If your kids talk like Donald Trump, you probably would put them in timeout.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, when it's time to give somebody the biggest job in the world, you can somehow let's move Hillary out of the thing. You can somehow make sense of it. How do you make sense of it?
Honestly, I don't think any of us sitting here are happy with the candidates that we are stuck with. What we have to do now is figure out who's going to do the least damage. Not who's going to do the best thing for our country, but which one of you is going to do the least damage.
When I was a little kid, in kindergarten, I had a friend who had moved to Fairfield from Gettysburg, and she was black. Her name was Thelma. And we played together on the playground, and the boys would make a circle around her and spit on her. True story. And I went home from school and talked to my dad, and I said, Daddy, why do you think they're doing that to Thelma? And my dad put me up on his knee, and he said, I don't know why, honey. People are mean, but you be Thelma's friend. And to allow somebody like Trump to talk about women and minorities, no matter whether you say he's the lesser of two evils or not, to allow a man like that to represent our great country is a sin and a crime. Absolutely. I don't want my kids to look at that man on TV and know that he leads our country.
What I will say is that no matter what the candidate says, it's really about what they do.
Sorry, I don't care what other good qualities he has. He is nasty.
I'm having faith that buried beneath all this crap that he's saying, that he spews out of his mouth, that's not really who he is. But I do know who Hillary is. I know that, and I will not vote for her.
Okay. As far as the leap of faith, you can apply any of those things you said, Rhonda, to Hillary. And the leap of faith has to be the same.
Our children's school board president was a racist bigot, and we, all of us, collected 600 signatures, Democrats, Republicans, to get him to leave, that we didn't want him near our children or in our schools. And so I have a hard time right now. Even these guys, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we ran him to another state, thank goodness. But Donald Trump's the same. So now it wasn't good enough to be our school board president, but we're going to have this guy be our commander in chief? That is not okay to me.
I'll tell you why. No, because Hillary Clinton is about the most corrupt politician to ever step foot in the White House as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if when she's in office, she gets indicted because she's done so much.
I am curious, though. You joined forces with these crazy Democrats to get rid of some, bigoted, superintendent. When you hear him make those comments about a wall or about the Muslims, how do they strike you? Don't worry about the politics.
Right, and that's That's horrible. That's horrible things. That's one of the reasons why I label him evil. Him and Hillary, they're evil. It makes it hard. But when he gets past all of his horribleness and he gets to what he's going to do for the first 100 days, I would say 50% of what he said yesterday was valid.
That's the
It's-
problem
it's-
with
it's-
the Trump candidacy, though, because he is legitimizing those latent feelings
Right.
in the
And
American people.
exactly.
And
I
it
was just
needs
gonna say
to
that
not
while-
happen.
But the same NPR crowd that says all this stuff will then turn right around and say every Trump voter is an idiot and every Trump voter is a racist.
But see, okay, you're putting words in my mouth that I didn't say.
No, I'm asking you to, not
because
you.
I would
I'm not-
never look at April and Rhonda and say that.
Wait,
I don't
so-
believe that. I believe they're wonderful people.
How come you guys aren't in a fist fight every day? Because it seems like the rest of the country is.
Did you drive through this town?
Yes.
Did you find a traffic light?
No.
No, we're little. We are very little. And we have a little school. And we have a small number of kids. And my grandkids go to school with all of their kids. Okay? And that's what matters.
And we all play sports.
In the
and
end.
I'm their coach.
In the end.
So they better do what I say.
yeah. In the end, that's what matters.
Well, we see each other
So,
every day. We
yeah.
pass each other, and we have respect for each other.
People make judgments about people because, people always say to me, "Oh, you're a liberal," and I'm like, "I'm a liberal, and I have a carry permit, and I hunt deer." So don't judge me just based on that. And I think that most of America, if you sat down and took the time to talk to each other, we come within like 10 or 20% of agreeing on things.
This is such a beautiful thing. If you live in my world, national media, Washington, D.C., all you hear is, if you're a Sanders person, or if you're a Bernie person, or if you're a Hillary person, or a Johnson person, we're just in the middle of the biggest civil war. Everybody hates everybody. Nobody's ever going to get along. America's over. It's all done. And then, you guys haven't agreed on one thing. And yet, literally, I'm waiting for you guys to agree about.
We do agree.
You got a few points. But I just want to just honor and to respect that you're actually modeling something in Gettysburg. Gettysburg, the symbol of Gettysburg is a bloody civil war. Right. And Donald Trump came to Gettysburg. In some ways, it to me felt like maybe trying to start the next civil war. But you get to Gettysburg, and people actually find a way to get along. I think that's very hopeful. I don't think America knows that. I don't.